Inorganic reactions are supposed to take place when an attacking reagent attacks on a compound containing carbon atoms known as substrate and leads to the formation of products. During the course of such reactions, some of the covalent bonds present in the substrate molecule get broken and some new bonds are formed. The organic reactions are of varied nature and may occur in several steps, in several paths. When an attacking reagent attacks on a substrate molecule, some highly reactive species called reaction intermediates are formed on account of the change or breaking of some of the covalent bonds present in the substrate. This I told in our previous class. These reactive species or reaction intermediates immediately combine with similar species or molecules present around them and establish new bonds with them, leading to the formation of products. The sequence of steps depicting the cleavage of old bonds in substrate molecules and formation of new bonds leading to the formation of products through reaction intermediates is called reaction mechanism. In a simple phrase, I can explain reaction mechanism means breaking and making of bonds. The mechanism of an organic reaction involves several basic concepts. In the forthcoming discussion, we shall study some important concepts which help a lot in understanding the mechanism of an organic reaction. My dear students, I welcome you all for the reaction mechanism part second, and today we will be discussing a basic concept, how the covalent bond is broken, how the covalent bond is cleaved. Okay, so with this I once again welcome for the today's session. Fundamental concepts in organic reaction mechanism. In an organic reaction, the organic molecule reacts with an appropriate attacking reagent and leads to the formation of one or more intermediates and finally products. This is a general way of writing an organic reaction. Molecule which is undergoing reaction, which is known as substrate. Attacking reagent, it may be a nucleophile, it may be a free radical, it may be a electrophile, okay, something which attacks on a substrate, okay. So in between some intermediates are formed which are highly unstable, highly active, okay, and they undergo change and finally convert them into products, and the side products are the less important products, are the byproducts. So this is called way of writing in words reaction mechanism. Okay, now what is meant by reaction mechanism? Already told, this is the definition. A reaction mechanism is the step-by-step sequence of elementary reactions by which overall chemical change occurs. We see only the first step and the last step. In between, what happens in rest time, which is not seen. Okay, so that in between steps are called as what? Reaction intermediates taking some route, and that overall from first to end via in between, that is called as what? Reaction mechanism. It is also a detailed description of the process leading from the reactants to the products of a reaction, including a characterization as complete as possible of the composition, structure, energy, and other properties of reaction intermediates, products, and transition states. That means to know about the reaction, we should understand reaction mechanism, which route it has taken, via what type of reaction intermediates. This involves a lot of information about the organic reaction, which we study slowly day by day and week by week, or it may require some months together. So in 11th class, we learn a bit of reaction mechanism. Now, first we study how the covalent bond is undergoes a fission. Fission is nothing but breaking. This we have learned in the physics under the chapter nuclear fusion and nuclear fission. Okay, so here we are discussing fission of what? Breaking of what? Breaking of what? Covalent bond. Okay, all right. So covalent bond is broken in two ways: heterolytic cleavage and the homolytic cleavage. So let us study one by one in detail. First, we go to the heterolytic cleavage of a covalent bond, heterolytic breaking of a covalent bond. Okay, right. In heterolytic cleavage, the bond breaks in such a fashion that the shared pair of electrons remains with one of the fragments. One atom has a sextet, means having 6 electronic structure and a positive charge, and the other a valence octet with at least one lone pair and a negative charge. To explain, to understand this one, here is an example. This is methyl bromide or bromomethane as per the IUPAC. Okay. Now this is a covalent bond. Covalent bond is formed between methyl and the bromide by giving one electron from each. So bromide gave one electron and methyl gave one electron, and a covalent bond is formed. A single covalent bond is formed. Okay, this is a sigma covalent bond. How this bond is broken? Here, both electrons are taken by the bromide. Why bromide is taking both electrons? For this, we have to refer to the electronegativity. When you compare electronegativity of the bromide with the methyl, or especially with the carbon of the methyl, bromide is more electronegative. Okay, so what happens? It want to take both electron towards itself, acquiring the negative charge. Okay, so in this way, because of difference in the electronegativity which is required for the organic reaction, okay, situation is demanding for a reaction to happen. Therefore bromine is taking, this is after making the bond. Once the methyl bromide is formed, if someone wants to attack on the methyl bromide is getting ready for the attack by the attacking reagent. In that condition, bromide takes its both electron. So when it is taking both electron, that means the electrons are lies with the bromine, not with the methyl. Therefore bromide gets the negative charge and the methyl gets the positive charge. In this way, methyl group is formed, methyl positive ion is formed. So positive charge is created on the carbon of the methyl. Okay, please hold. What happens afterwards? This is one more way of depicting the cleavage heterolytically in the case of trimethyl bromide. There are 3 methyl. Okay, so being a more electronegative, both electrons are taken by the bromine. Okay, so once again similar way, there it was a only methyl bromide, here it is a trimethyl bromide. In the same way, plus charge is created on the carbon of the trimethyl bromide because of losing electron, and because of accepting electron, this gets the negative charge. Okay, right. Now whenever electrons are taken by the most electronegative atom, creating negative charge on the bromide, what we saw in the previous case, and a positive charge on the carbon of the methyl or the carbon of the trimethyl radical, that species or that intermediate, that unstable species is called as a carbocation. Cations are what? Cations are positively charged. So positive charge is where? On the carbon. Therefore it is called as what? Carbocation. That means whenever shared pair of electron goes with one of the species between the two, where the bond is formed, after shifting, if the plus charge is created on the carbon of the substrate, that is called carbocation. Okay, so now we go to the definition of a carbocation. A carbocation is a species where a carbon atom bonds to 3 carbon atoms and has a positive charge. Minimum 3 hydrogen atoms are required for the carbon, and if the plus is created on the carbon, that is called as the carbocation. In the first case, it was the methyl carbocation. In the second case, it was the trimethyl carbocation. So carbocations are formed when there is a loss of both electrons to the opponent. Carbocations are electron deficient species and therefore very reactive and unstable. Why electron deficient? Because electron loss is there. The opponent has taken both electrons. Anything which donates electron density to the electron deficient center will help to stabilize them. That means now carbocation is formed. Now to stabilize, it wants electron. Anyone who is giving electron, anyone who is donating electron will stabilize the carbocation. Now before you go for the stability of the carbocation, First, we'll understand how many types of carbocations are there. There are three carbocations primarily. So, primary carbocation, secondary carbocation, and tertiary carbocation. This is done strictly on what ground? On the ground that where plus charge is created on the carbon, if that carbon is surrounded by 1, 2 or 3, accordingly we classify it as a primary, secondary and a tertiary. One more carbocation is there, that is normal carbocation, which is nothing but methyl carbocation. We will study next now. Here, this is a primary carbocation, this is secondary carbocation, this is tertiary carbocation. How, on what ground? Plus charge is created here. If the plus charge acquired carbon atom is surrounded by only one carbon, that is called primary. If the plus charged carbon atom is surrounded by two other alkyl, because in this alkyl carbon is there, no, that is called as the secondary carbocation. And if the plus charged carbon atom is surrounded by three other carbon atoms, that is called as the tertiary carbocation. Depend upon the surroundings, they are classified as primary, secondary and tertiary. In different way we see carbocation, surrounded by only one carbon, surrounded by two other carbon atoms, surrounded by three other carbon atoms, therefore tertiary, therefore secondary, therefore primary. Symbolically 1 degree, 2nd degree, 3rd degree, symbolically, either word wise or symbolically. Now, here there are four carbocations. One is normal methyl carbocation, where this carbon which is carrying the positive charge is not surrounded by any other carbon. So it is a normal carbocation, nothing but the simplest carbocation or methyl carbocation or the methyl cation. This is one more extra is there, CH3, CH, this is ethyl carbocation. This is a propyl carbocation. This is the butyl carbocation. Okay. So depend upon the surroundings, they are classified as primary, secondary and the tertiary. But which is most stable? Methyl carbocation is the least stable, whereas the butyl carbocation is the most stable. Why? Why? Because that depends upon the surroundings. Okay, now what are surrounding? Surroundings are alkyl groups or the methyl groups in particular. Okay, methyl groups are known as what? Electron donating groups. They donate electron. Okay, now here is the plus charge, so it is highly unstable. It wants electron. Who will give electron? Whether other species gives electron or not, but within the structure, if you see, these three methyl or these three alkyl groups are known as electron donating groups. So these electron donating groups will donate electron towards the carbon. So that means this methyl is helping this charge to stabilize. Your plus charge, I am giving electron, so slight movement of electron takes place from the methyl to the carbocation, this plus charge, so it is stabilized. But if you see here, how many are ready to support to plus charge of the carbocation? 3 are there. More the number of electron donating, that means to become stable, it is getting help from the 3. So it is more stable. But here, as you see here, no one is there to help here. All are hydrogen atoms. Who will give electron? Who will shift electron? Who will donate electron to the plus charge of this carbon? No one is there. So it is unstable. Here one help is there. Two helps are there. All help is there. So more the number of help, more the number of electron donating groups around the carbon plus, more is stable. Therefore it is more stable, least stable, intermediate stability. Now you see the one simple structure of the carbocation. Carbon plus charge, this is simple methyl carbocation with the 3 hydrogen. 1, 2, here I have not shown here, it is understood as hydrogen only. Okay, and this is a planar structure, triangular planar. Okay, sp2 hybridized carbon atom with 120 degree. Please refer to the chemical bonding chapter. Okay, right, I leave it to you to go through the content. Now we'll go to the second part of the fission of covalent bond, which is known as the homolytic cleavage. Earlier it was heterolytic cleavage, now homolytic cleavage. In homolytic cleavage, one of the electrons of the shared pair in a covalent bond goes with each of the bonded atoms. Thus, in homolytic cleavage, the movement of a single electron takes place instead of an electron pair. Here in the heterodytic cleavage, both electrons will go to one side. Okay, but in the case of homolytic, out of the two electrons, both will not go. So one electron go to the other one, one more electron to the other one. That means equal displacement of the electrons, equal shifting of electrons. That's why it's called homo. Both will get electrons. Okay. Such cleavage results in the formation of neutral species, which contains an unpaired electron. These species are called free radicals. Very important. So free radicals are formed when the bond cleaves by the homolytic cleavage. That means both electrons, both species will take their own electron. Because why they take both electrons? Why the bond is formed then? So first they form the bond. When the demand is there to go in this way only, so that reaction proceeds, that time they undergo this type of cleavage. Okay, it depends upon the need, demand, situation. Okay, organic reactions which proceed by homolytic fission are called free radical or homopolar or non-polar reactions. Symbolically, general reaction Rx, X is a halogen, R is a methyl. This is a single covalent bond, means two electrons. One electron is taken by the this one, other is taken by the this one. See the error mark there. We have shown the double head error mark. Here single head error mark. Only single is shown here. That means what? Both are taking their own electron. Accordingly, methyl dot X dot indicates they have taken their own electron. So they are called as neutral species carrying the unpaired electron known as a free radical. So here it is called what? In generally alkyl free radical. Free radicals are formed if a bond splits evenly, each atom getting one of the two electrons. The name given to this is called homolytic fission. Here is taken the example of what? Chloride, chlorine molecule. Okay, so this is the bond with two electrons. This will take one electron, this will take one electron. Ready? These are called chloride free radicals. In a different way, homolytic bond fission means separation of two atoms in which each of the atoms acquire one of the bond electrons. In a different way, he's saying. Okay. Free radicals means what? An atom or a group of atoms possessing an odd or unpaired electrons is known as free radical. A dot generally represents the odd electrons. Here we represent using the dot, the symbol of free radical. Okay, they are produced by homolytic cleavage or the homolytic fission of the molecule using energy, any energy, light energy, heat energy, any energy you supply, electrons are separated. Already this example you have seen. Now please hear: methyl free radical, primary free radical, secondary free radical, tertiary free radical. Why? Again depends upon what? Again depends upon the surroundings. If the free radical carrying carbon is not surrounding by any other carbon, it is normal free radical or the methyl free radical. Whereas if the free radical carrying carbon is surrounded by one carbon, two carbon, three carbon, accordingly it is primary, secondary and tertiary. This is the most stable. Why most stable? Why least stable? Please think. Please think. I leave to you because I give a clue. Methyl groups are called as, alkyl groups are called as what? Electron donating groups, EDZ. Electron donating groups. Already explained in the case of carbocation. Now you please give a food for your thought. Same thing. But here is the reason. Groups that can push electrons towards the free radical will help to stabilize it via hyperconjugation. That's why I stopped here. Okay, please think. We'll come to this topic once again. Now this is the structure of the free radical, methyl free radical. Okay, how we have seen the structure of the methyl carbocation? In the same way, methyl free radical we have seen here. Okay, right. These are all electronic cloud structure which is not written in the examination. This is a simple way of writing in the examination. Okay, right. This is most simple. Again, sp2 120. Okay, free radical. Right. There it was plus charge in the carbocation. Here it is free, a single electron free radical, unpaired electron, lone pair of electron. Okay, all those terms are used. So this we follow normally in the examination. Okay, right. Here is the difference between the homolytic and the heterolytic fission. Homolytic fission definition already there. Okay, forms two equal fragments, forms two unequal. Okay, gives one bond electron to each fragment. Single here gives both electrons to the one of the two. Okay, so energy absorbed or taken out depend upon the released, depend upon the situation. So kindly go through the slide. So understand. Till then, bye, my dear students.